Hi, welcome to Street Priest Ministries. I'm your host, Brother Jay, where we're taking the Gospels back to the street. Today's drive-through message is the Apocalypse. Turning your Bibles to Revelation chapter 7. Now, this is part 2 of the Revelation series. We're doing this series because I felt it's about time to get around to it. I promise you I'll do it. If you want to catch up, I've already done part of the series. I actually started in Revelations with dreams when I took on the first 3 chapters. And the part 1 series dealt with chapter 4 through chapter 6. So if you want to catch up, feel free to do so with videos, or you'll find them. They're up, and you can look them up for yourself. Alright, so we're going to turn to Revelation chapter 7. I'm going through this series. The reason why I think it's important, show God's in control. What you're dealing with during the apocalypse, basically, is the unveiling. In other words, you don't even got to guess about good and evil anymore, God versus the devil. Of course, the warfare is going to come to planet Earth. And those that are here are going to see the manifestation of the devil and his demons. And also God pouring his wrath out on this earth, and revelation of God coming to this earth, smashing his fist in it when Christ comes in the book of Revelations and Armageddon. So it won't be no more guesswork. You'll understand what this Bible, this book has been talking about from Genesis all the way through Revelation, that this is war. This war started throughout the ages, has been going on throughout the ages for eons. And we're just foot soldiers, those that are called and enlisted in this eternal battle that's been going on throughout the ages. And the world is going to see, the scoffers, the one that makes this book as fairy tales, and get to see the manifestation of good versus evil in this book right here. And this book here has a certain mystique about it, and a certain ring of truth, even though far out, that have captivated billions, I would guess, of people since it was first written. It stood the test of time. John the Revelator. Okay, so we're going to start with chapter 7. And after these things, I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any tree. And I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living God. And he cried with a loud voice to the 4 angels, to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea, saying, Hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, that we have sealed the servants of God in their foreheads. God's still going to have a group of people evangelizing this earth, even in these dreadful days. But these people are going to be untouchable. But these demons are going to be released to torture man. See, God's going to give man hell because man has turned his back on God and refused his son. And this world has chosen evil and devil over God and his redemptive plan. So God's going to unleash. He said, you want hell? I'm going to give you hell. Hell's coming to the surface of the earth. And this is what you're seeing here. But God's protecting his own, telling these demons not to touch his, that are sealed. And I heard a number of them which were sealed, and they were sealed, 144,000 of all the tribes of the children of Israel. Of the tribe of Judah was sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Reuben was sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Gad was sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Asher was sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Nephilim was sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Manasseh was sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Simeon was sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Levi was sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Issachar was sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Zebulun was sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Joseph was sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Benjamin was sealed 12,000. And this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude, which no man could number, of all the nations and kindreds of people and tongues, stood before the throne, and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes, and palms in their hands, and cried with a loud voice, saying, Salvation to our God, which sitteth on the throne, and unto the Lamb. And all the angels stood round about the throne, and about the elders, and the four beasts, and fell before the throne on their faces, and worshiped God. See, the business of heaven is worship. See, a lot of this going on up here. That's what God created man for. That's what God, all other creation recognize God's the boss, except us. You're to bow to your Creator and worship Him and serve Him. That's what we're created for. But God has been turned into a bailout, been turned into an amorphous gas of a Santa Claus, a genie in a bottle. It caters to, so it's supposed to cater to man's every whim. No, this is what God is here. You're reading. He's worship. Heaven understand who the boss is. And they give Him praise. Saying, Amen, blessing and glory and wisdom, and thanksgiving and honor and power and might be unto me. No, that's what we would like, right? No, it says be unto God forever and ever. Amen. And one of the elders answered, saying unto me, What are these that are arrayed in white robes, and whence come they? And I said unto him, Sir, thou knowest. Safe answer for John. He said, You know, I don't know these people. And he said unto me, These are they which came out of the great tribulation, and have washed their robes and made them white in the blood of the Lamb. Now you're going to have the great tribulation when God's pouring His wrath out on His earth. And these are His saints. Tribulum is the Greek word. It means to beat the wheat from the chaff. God's going to do some beating on this earth. And He's going to take His wheat and the chaff, He's going to burn. But you're going to have to prove you're a Christian during this time period. You can't be running around. Now I'm a Christian. Antichrist's going to test you. He's going to chop your head off. He's going to see if you're for real with your Christianity. These are they which came out of the great tribulation, and have washed their robes and made them white in the blood of the Lamb. Therefore are they before the throne of God, and serve Him day and night in the temple. And He that sitteth in the throne shall dwell among them. And they shall hunger no more, neither thirst any more. Neither shall the sun light on them, nor any heat. For the Lamb which is in the midst of the throne shall feed them, and shall lead them unto living fountains of water. And God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes. Okay, then we'll go to chapter 8. And when He opened the seventh seal, there was silence in heaven about a space of a half an hour. And I saw the 7 angels which stood before God, and to them were given 7 trumpets. And another angel came and stood at the altar, having a golden censer. And there was given unto him much incense, that he should offer it with the prayers of all the saints upon the golden altar which was before the throne. Now, incense always symbolized prayer. Even in the Old Testament, in the tabernacle, you had a table of incense. And God likes prayer. I don't know what to tell you. It's something that he likes. It's one of the things he called righteousness. Jesus said, when you do your praying, I taught him this already, the power of prayer. Power of prayer. Get the video. But Jesus said, when you do your praying, he considered that alms, like righteousness. And he said, enter in your closet and pray to your Heavenly Father in secret. Your Heavenly Father in secret shall see you open. He didn't say be out like a brand jackass in public showing off how spiritual you are with your praying. Like you got the Rufus Glitter Tees and Smiley Saws and New Age Balaams doing every day on television. You couldn't get no bigger street corner than that with a camera in front of you. To worry about seeing Brother Jay praying, it's not going to happen. I pray to my Heavenly Father in secret in the closet, like he told me to. But anyway, like he instructed. But anyway, God loves prayer. You know, it tells us something he called DK, righteousness. That's along with giving, which you should be doing, God's way. And along with fasting. This is all high cotton lethargy. Or liturgy, excuse me. Some of you are in lethargy. It's a Freudian slip, but you're not doing it, that's why. But that's high cotton lethargy. And the smoke of the incense which came with the prayers of the saints ascended up before God and out of the angel's hand. And the angel took the censer and filled it with the fire of the altar and cast it into the earth. And there were voices and thunderings and lightnings and earthquakes. God's raining terror down on this earth because they rejected Christ. So since you rejected Christ, all the wrath was poured out on him on the cross. This is the time now to accept his atonement, which in the Hebrew word means covering for your sins. Or else, if you're alive, you're going to catch this right here. God's going to pour his wrath out because you didn't accept what Christ did. So you're going to have to atone for your own sin. He's pouring all the wrath out that was already poured out on the cross in Christ. And if you accept him, God treats you. He puts you in Christ and looks at you as though you were his son. Because you accepted, you'll be covered by the blood. We're not perfect. I'm a failure. There's nothing perfect about me. But I'm made worthy by the blood of the Lamb. And the same with you. So God looks at us through the spectacles of Jesus. He doesn't look at old Sin and Jay struggling down here. He looks at me as though I'm a little Christ, because I have the Spirit of God in me. And the same with you, if you accept Christ's atonement for you. But for the world that rejected it, they got to bear their own sin. And God's pouring his wrath and his judgment out on this earth. That's what this is all about here, we're reading. And the seven angels which had the seven trumpets prepared themselves to sound. The first angel sounded, and there followed hail and fire mingled with blood. And they were cast up on earth. Now remember, Egypt was a prototype of what's to come in these last days. And all this happened in Egypt with the 10 plagues. And the third part of the trees was burnt up, and all the green grass was burnt up. And the second angel sounded, and as it were, a great mountain burning with fire was cast into the sea. And the third part of the sea became blood. And the third part of the creatures which were in the sea had life died, and the third part of the ships were destroyed. Now it looks to me since I have a kind of a scientific mind, it looks like giant meteorites are hitting this earth. Ain't nothing new. And I actually believe in that. There's craters in the earth that can only be explained by meteors. I mean, you got them all around the world. In Russia and South America, even here in the United States. One in Arizona. Meteors have struck this earth several times, cataclysms. Get Velikovsky's book, Worlds and Collisions. He documents a lot of these cataclysms, meteors striking Earth. It's by God's grace, we have a force shield up there that usually burns up these meteors and breaks them up before they can do serious damage to the Earth. Occasionally, some of them get through. And they're traveling thousands and thousands of miles per second as they strike this Earth with force of many nuclear bombs being exploded. It's going to get man's attention. This one was the size of a great mountain burning with fire. This is a hell of a meteor. A meteor hitting the earth like this could throw the earth off its orbit or its axis. You could flip the polar caps from north to south, from south to north, which has happened according to ancient history several times before. Changed the rotation of the earth. The sun started rising in the west and setting in the east instead of rising in the east, setting in the west. And the North Pole became the South Pole, and the South Pole became the North Pole. That's what Velikovsky documents in his book. The ancients around the world have records of this happening because of cataclysms, giant meteors striking this earth. And scientists have documented that these giant rocks are out there floating around. They talk about one, I think his name is Nibiru, Planet X all the time. But the debris that's associated with some of these giant meteors that a quarter of the size of a moon or something out there floating around. So if this strikes the earth, it's going to do some serious damage. And the third part of the creatures were in the sea had life died, and the third part of the ships were destroyed. And the third angel sounded, and there fell a great star from heaven, burning as if it were a lamp. And it fell upon the third part of the rivers, upon the third part of the fountains of water. And the name of the star is called Wormwood. Wormwood means bitter. And the reason everything's dying because this star that falls has a gas, cyanic. And when cyanic mixes with water, it makes the water bitter. It's what destroys the life. So as you get cyanic gas mixing with water, you got cyanic acid. And I'm almost certain it'll be cyanic acid rain as well, affiliated with this from the cloud, from the fume of the explosion. It goes up into the atmosphere and comes down in the form of rain. And the third part of the waters became wormwood, and many men died of the waters because they were made bitter. You can't drink cyanic acid. You find a lot of cyanic pools around volcanoes. The water looks tempting. Some of it looks clear, like it's drinkable, but it'll kill you. And the fourth angel sounded, and the third part of the sun was smitten, and the third part of the moon, and the third part of the stars. So as the third part of them were darkened, this world is worshiping darkness, God's going to give it darkness. And the day shone not for a third part of it. So there's 24 hours to a day. So minus 8 hours of sunlight is going to be missing. Or excuse me, 4 hours of sunlight. I would guess it would be missing. And the night likewise. Yeah, I'm right. So 4 and 4. So you're going to have 8 hours instead of 12 hours of sunlight. It should be reduced down to 8 hours. And the night likewise. And I beheld, and an angel flying through the midst of heaven, saying with a loud voice, Woe, woe, woe to the inhabitants of the earth, by reason of the other voices of the trumpet of the 3 angels which are yet to sound. Say, look out. More hail is coming your way. And the 5th angel sounded, and I saw a star fall from heaven unto the earth. There's another meteor. When you hear a star, think meteor. And to him was given the key of the bottomless pit. And he opened the bottomless pit. And there arose a smoke out of the pit. Now this is an angel, not a meteor. But he probably falls like an eater, so I'm pretty sure everybody saw him. And he opened the bottomless pit. And there arose a smoke out of the pit, as the smoke of a great furnace. And the sun and the air were darkened by the reason of the smoke of the pit. Now this is some kind of prison hid in the earth for fallen angels. And this angel here opens the bottomless pit. I believe, if I had to guess, just my guess, my hypothesis, if I had to guess, I believe the Bermuda Triangle is where this bottomless pit, where he's going to take this key and open it in the earth. That would be my guess, because of all the mysterious things that's happened over the years, and evil manifestations. I believe that's where that prison for these angels are located, these fallen angels. And there came out of the pit smoke, locusts upon the earth, and unto them was given power, as scorpions of the earth have power. And it was commanded them that they should not hurt the grass of the earth, neither any green thing. So these locusts like demons. And these are demons. He had idiots. I ain't going to give this guy no more fame than he deserved. And he sold millions of books. And he was a false prophet. And he was wrong on just about everything that he said, but he made a lot of money being wrong. But one of the things he said is that these are helicopters coming out of the bottomless pit. These some hell of helicopters. I mean, I know they got wicked names for some of them. But I don't really think that these are helicopters looking like the way we're about to see them described. I doubt that seriously. And it was commanded to them, verse 4, chapter 9, Revelation. It was commanded them that they should not hurt the grass of the field. They're not interested in any grass, neither any green thing, neither any tree, but only those men which have the seal, which have not the seal of God on their foreheads. And to them it was given that they should not kill them, but they should be tormented 5 months. So no death, can't die, but you're going to wish you were dead. And their torments was as the torment of scorpions when he striketh a man. Well, I've never been struck by a scorpion, but I can imagine it's very painful. And in those days, men shall seek death. God's going to have death play peekaboo in these days. Death is running away. Can't die. But you're gonna try to die. Just imagine, jump off a building. Dude, think of all the things you could do as you can die, and you just can't die. Now, my guess was, this is another hypothesis, if you do that, you'll just be broken up in a lot of pain, but you're going to die. So you just add to your suffering. And in those days, men shall seek death, and shall not find it, and shall desire to die, and death shall flee from them. And the shapes of the locusts were like unto horses, prepared unto battle. And on their heads were as if it was crowns like gold. Don't look like no helicopter to me. Looking like this. And their faces were faces of men, or as the faces of men. And they had hair as the hair of women. And their teeth were as teeth of lions. This is a pretty ferocious looking thing. And they had breastplates as if it were breastplates of iron. And the sound of their wings were as the sound of chariots, of many horses running to battle. And they had tails like unto scorpions. There were stings in their tails, and their power was to hurt men 5 months. And demons love to torture man and to hurt man. So I'm sure they were good at their job and they were happy. And they had a king over them, which is the angel of the bottomless pit, whose name in Hebrew is Abaddon. But in the Greek tongue, he hath his name Apollyon. Apollyon means destroyer. And Abaddon means destroyer in Hebrew. And Apollyon in Greek. Now just think back. This name sounds familiar, though. Apollyon. Sun god. Worshiping demons. This is the angel of the bottomless pit here. Most of the ancient occultic practices that we read about, Baal, Ashtoreth, all that, and the various gods are named after demons. Including Allah, the moon god. Yeah, think about that. Demon. One woe is past, and behold, there came 2 woes more hereafter. And the 6th angel sounded, and I heard a voice from the 4 corners of the golden altar, which is before God, saying to the 6th angel, which had the trumpet, loose the 4 angels which are bound in the great Euphrates. Another place where a lot of evil and a lot of mysterious things occur. That river Euphrates. Middle East. Iran, Iraq, all there. Another place that's a dimension. It's a dimensional or interdimensional prison for evil spirits, for evil angels. That's bound in these prison cells, these eternal prison cells for fallen angels. Going to be released on this earth. The guy got them locked up and chained up for a reason. They're so wicked and so evil that he had to chain them up. But now he's giving man hell. This man's been worshiping hell for a long time, so he's going to unleash hell on him. And a lot of these demons are being worshipped that he's releasing. saying to the sixth angel, which had the trumpet, loose the four angels which are bound in the great river Euphrates. Verse 15. And the four angels were loose, which were prepared for an hour, and a day, and a month, and a year, for to slay a third part of men. And the number of the army of the horsemen were 200,000. And I heard the number of them. And thus I saw the horses in division, and them that sat on them, having breastplates of fire, and jacinth, and brimstone, and the head of the horses were as the head of lions. And out of their mouth issued fire, and smoke, and brimstone. Imagine something like this coming down the street. By these three was the third part of men killed, by the fire, and by the smoke, and by the brimstone, which issued out of their mouths. This was their weapon. For their power was in their mouth, and in their tails, for their tails were like unto serpents. And had heads with them, they do hurt. And the rest of the men which were not killed by these plagues yet repented not of the works of their hands, that they should not worship devils. See? Exactly what I told you. That's what God's giving them, devils. He's releasing these demons as being worshipped throughout the ages by mankind. It's letting man see how much hell really loves him. That they should not worship devils and idols of gold and silver and brass and stone of wood